Jake Paul is no question one of the most hated people on the internet, and because of this, obviously he has a lot of enemies. Some of them YouTubers, some of them mainstream celebrities. But honestly, a lot of it's his own fault, as he makes enemies of whoever he can to get media clout. I'm Mackenzie, you're watching InformOverload, and let's get into the top 10 enemies of Jake Paul. Starting off at number 10, we have the Martinez twins. The people that just all around make Jake Paul look the worst are former Team 10 members, with them usually making juicy videos on why they left the squad. The worst of them was from the Martinez twins, who were brothers from Spain, who were invited by Jake Paul to come and live with him in LA, and they were part of the OG squad, even getting a part in the massive It's Everyday Bro music video. But when they decided to leave, they made a scathing video against Jake, talking about all the reasons that they left and pointing the finger at Jake as the root of the issue. Apparently when they came to LA and didn't speak much English, other members of the squad would talk behind their backs and laugh at them. Then they talked about a terrible prank orchestrated by Jake, where Jake destroyed their room in order to shock them. As a response, Jake called them out for trashing him publicly instead of talking privately. At the time, it ended with them all working things out. But the real end came from Nick Crompton, who revealed that the pranks were all fake, and the Martinez twins knew the room was going to be destroyed as they built that fake room for the purpose of destroying it, basically making them flat out liars. In at number 9, Alyssa Violet. Alyssa was Jake's most famous ex until his fake wedding with Tana happened, and at the time they broke up, Team 10 was on fire, with many wondering how the content house even worked. When Alyssa and Jake broke up, Alyssa answered those questions in a long video, where she admits that she was mentally and even somewhat physically abused by Jake, with her mentioning that he would string her along for videos while he was hooking up with a new girl every day. Then she revealed how he would always take physical jokes too far, hurting her at one point. She lastly revealed how Jake took 20% from all his friends and enforced strict rules to live in the house. And at number 8, Logan Paul. One of the worst feuds Jake has been in was with his older brother, Logan. Logan's generally more successful and well-liked than Jake, and that obviously causes issues in their relationship, with Jake constantly trying to one-up his brother. And occasionally, Logan will fight back. Like back when diss tracks were a thing, and the brothers made multiple diss tracks taking aim at one another, even bringing personal and family issues online where they had no place being. There's also the fact that Logan hooked up with Jake's ex Alyssa, and that's the main reason Alyssa was kicked out of Team 10 and the whole house imploded. The brothers seem to be getting closer overall, but the fact that both of them have content houses with their own posses, both vlog and both now box, is obviously a recipe for disaster. And at number 7, Keemstar. It's somewhat Keemstar's job to talk badly about other creators when covering their drama, but the hate Keemstar seems to have for the Paul brothers is next level, and back in the day, he would cover any negative story about them. And he constantly comes for Jake and makes it clear that he doesn't like him, like in this one tweet where Keem wrote, quote, "I've never hated Jake Paul as much as I do today. He owed everyone an apologies for his actions, and instead he made excuses and virtue signaling to cover up his BS. If he's innocent as he claims, then release all the raw footage to prove it. You can't, you won't, cause you lie." And at number 6, KSI. Even though KSI and Jake didn't start out as enemies, Jake has made an enemy out of KSI, with all the trash talking he does about him. KSI fought Jake's older brother Logan in a huge boxing event, where Jake fought KSI's younger brother, Deji. But after Jake won, he kept calling out KSI, saying that Jake would do anything to fight KSI next. After his older brother Logan lost to his second fight to KSI, Jake is even hungrier than ever and wants to avenge his family's name. Halfway number 5, Conor McGregor. A new enemy of Jake's is definitely Conor McGregor, as Jake is doing everything in his power to get a fight with the UFC boxer, especially now that Logan will be fighting Floyd Mayweather Jr. Recently, Jake uploaded an insane 1-minute video disrespectfully calling out Conor for the fight, saying in the video, quote, "Good morning, Conor McGregor. My team sent you a $50 million offer this morning. 50 million cash proof of funds, the biggest offer you've ever been offered, but you're still scared to fight me. Conor, you're ducking me because you don't want to lose to a YouTuber. You're 0-1 as a boxer, I'm 2-0 as a boxer." Then going on to trash talk him some more, even bringing up Conor's wife and calling her a 4. And to make matters worse, after dissing Conor's wife, Dee Devlin, Jake Paul decided to follow her on Instagram, with her now being the only person that he follows. And I'm sure McGregor wants to knock him out right about now. And at number 4, Austin McBroom. Another one from the boxing world, but Austin has made an enemy out of Jake and his brother when he challenged them both to a fight. Austin called Jake Paul, Logan Paul, and Bryce Hall weak, weak AF, and weaker on Instagram. Austin wasn't done though, and he uploaded a photo to his Instagram where he called out Jake by name, writing in the caption, quote, "There's a whole lot of boxing talk going on lately. I've been an athlete my entire life, so it would be disappointing for me not to get involved. Jake Paul have been running for me for years. I got $5 million for whoever steps into the ring with me." And then Jake clapped back, writing savagely, quote, "I'd be more worried about your wife in my DMs." Then, because he wanted to be even shadier, Jake posted a poll to his Instagram saying, quote, "Should I post the receipts with the options yes and no, don't home wreck?" Then in the meantime, Catherine posted a screenshot of that to her story, writing, quote, "I forgot you existed until my husband mentioned you today. Jake Paul, I'll be sending you an invoice for all this free publicity." But then she quickly deleted it. Then Jake responded to that by showing a message of Catherine in his DMs, with Catherine writing, "Delete your story, WTF," which I guess shows there might have been some proof to his claims. And this one is really wild, but I can definitely see this fight actually taking place. And at number 3, Gigi Hadid. This one is incredibly random, but Jake made an enemy out of Gigi Hadid when she had no choice but to call him out for his childish behavior. It all started when Jake and Gigi's boyfriend Zayn Malik had a confrontation at a Vegas hotel. After Jake tweeted out that he was gonna clap Zayn from One Direction, Gigi responded back, quote, "LOL, cause he doesn't care to hang with you and your embarrassing crew of YouTube groupies. Home alone with his best friends like a respectful king, cause he has me, sweetie. Unbothered by your irrelevant, ugly ass. Go to bed." And that was basically the bird of the century. And after that Jake had no choice but to sit down, with Jake tweeting out a semi-apology later, blaming it on the alcohol. And at number 2, Tana Mojo. Although Tana and Jake are on good terms now, there was a point in time where Tana made Jake look incredibly bad. This was after their fake wedding, where it was clear that Tana had real feelings, while Jake was just using her for clout. After they publicly got married, then split shortly after, Tana set things straight in a long and emotional video. In the video, she spills tons of tea about Jake and their relationship, and in summary, she says that her feelings were real, and she tried to be the cool girl and have an open relationship like he wanted, but it wasn't realistic for her, and she ended up getting her heart broken when he went partying in Ibiza with women for their honeymoon. And after all of this, it really made Jake look like a clout-chasing ass. And the fact that Jake started dating Julia Rose like immediately after Tana also was just a really bad look. And finally, at number 1, Disney. Disney definitely hates Jake Paul because they hate anything that makes them look bad, obviously. And Jake did that in spades when he embarrassed the company so bad that he was fired from the hit Disney show Bizarre Bark. The story here is that when Jake was becoming popular on Vine, he also wanted to try his hand at acting, and he was cast on Bizarre Bark. But since Jake started Team 10 and vlogging around that same time, it wasn't long before his online life started to negatively affect his Disney Channel show. After a massive slew of bad press, Jake and Disney released statements that they had parted ways, with Disney saying in their statement, quote, "We've mutually agreed that Jake Paul will leave his role." Jake also spoke about the matter on his Twitter, where he says that they mutually decided it was his time to leave and he would be pursuing social media full time. But even though the statements made it seem like they left off on a good note, we know that's not the case. And we learned later that he was fired from Disney for being a nuisance practically anywhere and everywhere. Alright guys, that's all for the list today. Let me know your thoughts below, and were there any people that I missed? Because I swear at this point Jake has made an enemy out of most YouTubers on the platform. I guess it's a good thing he's going into boxing then. And YouTubers can now work out their issues, in the ring. But before I head out, I'm going to shout out some comments from the last roundup. Sandy said, like she woke up and chose stupid. I love when you add like the little glitter. Oh my god. Yes, thank you for that comment. Then Nanation said, so no matter what Lizzo does, people still got something to say. I'm done with this world. I agree. It's really, really unfortunate. I feel really bad for Lizzo or anybody like that makes body positivity part of her brand. Even someone like Adele. It's like, it's all anyone can talk about now. It's really unfortunate. Fluffy Pink Chaos said, wait, Bella Thorne was in touch at some point? When? I'm so sorry, I was mistaken. I think, yeah, just back in the day she was less badly informed. Now she's just off the rails. Then CL Brarely, sorry, I hope I said that right, said, I can't remember how I discovered I earlier on in 2020, but I'm very glad I did. Love you guys and all you do. See you next year. Cheers to 2021. Yes, thank you so much for that comment. It has been a crazy year. I know for me, I actually got hired this year. So, I mean, crazy year for all of us. I cannot wait till 2020 is over. I'm sure a lot of you guys can agree with me on that. Alright guys, that is all for the video today. Thanks so much for watching. If you made it all the way here, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel down below if you liked and you want to see some more. I've been your host, Mackenzie Smith, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.